What's up, everybody? We're going to try and figure out this carb issue. So, this is my 830 Holly that was on the car. The car ran okay with this on there, but it's a bit big for a 350. So that was the whole point in buying a 750 carburetor, was to take an 830 carburetor off of it. Nothing wrong with this carburetor. This is the carburetor that the car ran its best time with. The whole time I've had the car, this is the carburetor it's been on, it's been running. If I put this carburetor on your car right now, the car would run and idle and be fine. I believe that the problem is in the idle circuit of that carburetor. So what I'm going to do is, I believe that that carburetor is not getting enough air. This is the throttle body or throttle plate off my Holly. Every butterfly has a hole in it, a rather large hole. The throttle plate on that carburetor only has 2 holes in it, and they're both in the front, in the front barrels. Not really primary, but and they're smaller than these. So all I'm going to do is match. First of all, I'm going to put this throttle plate underneath that carburetor, put it all back on the car, and if it fires up and runs and idles fine, pulling it back off, and I'm drilling holes in the other butterflies on the other throttle plate and putting it back together and getting this car running and getting where I can use this other carburetor, because I think a 750 will do it better. Because one of the biggest problems I have with the car is when I stomp it to the floor, it might take off, or it might cough and take off. And that's everything in racing. So that's where it's at. So right now I'm gonna put this throttle plate on that carburetor, set it back up on the car, and try and fire it up and see what happens. If it fires up and runs with minimal work, get them to get the drill and fix it. So we'll see. I almost forgot. I super appreciate the people that jumped in on the comments on my other video that I did titled Carburetor Woes. I do appreciate anybody's suggestions or any help or any idea that somebody might have. I'll listen to anything anybody's got to say. Somebody commented about the timing needs to be turned up. That could be true. I haven't had a timing light on this car yet. I've only had it to the track once this season, and it wasn't running the night before I took it to the track. I literally slapped it together and took it to the track and ran it. Everything was set by ear. No timing light was ever put on it or anything like that. So I'm not saying my timing is set right by any means, because it needs to be set. But my timing's not so bad off that the car can't run or idle. It wouldn't stop it from doing that. So the whining noise that you hear coming from the motor, it's not under load. I have a gear drive for a timing set in the front. I don't have a timing chain in gears. I have a gear drive, so it's gear to gear. So that's what you hear in the front that sounds like a supercharger or something. It's like I never really noticed it that loud before until I was watching that video. So I understand why you say that, but there's nothing wrong with it. It's all good. There's nothing wrong with the transmission or anything like that. I think I touched on 2 people's comments. I can't think of what the other one was, but anyway, that's where I'm at. So we're gonna try this a little bit and see what happens. So here we go. Another thing I forgot to mention, everything was base set up on this. The float levels were set, the idle screw mixtures were all a turn and a quarter out. Everything should be able to idle. The car should be able to run. Even if it ran shitty, it should be able to run. So all the baseline settings were set on the carburetor. Alright, that didn't work. Alright, we're not gonna be so fast to go get the drill. Alright, that didn't work. Alright, we're not gonna be so fast to go get the drill. Alright, back to the Holly. We're gonna try this again. I'm predicting it's gonna fire right up. Might be running a little fast because I turned up the idle when it was on, when I had the base plate on the other carburetor. What the fuck? Great, now this one don't want to run neither. So I changed the gasket on the Holly when I pulled the throttle plate off of it because the gasket disintegrated. The gasket that I put on there wasn't exactly the same, and I think that's why now my Holly won't idle. So glad I didn't throw this gasket away. I'll make that gasket match this gasket tomorrow and go from there. Had I not changed that gasket, I'm 100% positive I would have threw my Holly back on there and fired it up just like I did after the car sat with the motor tore down all winter long, and then I threw it back together and threw the Holly on there. It fired right up and idled, just like most cars do. When you throw a carburetor on there, you got something to work with. But I'm sure I blocked a hole that I shouldn't have blocked. So I'll fix that tomorrow. So thanks for watching. I'll get this figured out tomorrow. Tell you what, AED makes a good carburetor if you need a door stop or a wheel chock or something. Yeah, it'd probably do alright for that. Not much else.